We're back and we're in one of the independent apartments here that are it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And we're talking with Susan Allersleiman, and she's going to give us a lot more information. So Susan, tell us what you do.
Well, I'm a wealth advisor with First American Bank here in town, and I work comprehensively with my clients on their wealth planning, whether that be creating and growing wealth, protecting and preserving wealth, or planning for the transition of wealth during life and after. And it's those two latter phases that often come up with folks who are making the decision to come to a place like Friendship Haven and one of these independent living arrangements.
Okay.
So there's two financial considerations primarily that how they can pay for being here.
Well, first I would say that protecting and preserving their wealth, which would include things like how much do I have, what do I need, and is there any gap in between those two? And if there is, how do I work to fill it? And then the second piece being the planning that has more to do with what they're going to do with their wealth during their life and after, as far as gifting or providing for children or spouses. So those would be providing for themselves, and then providing for others would be another way of looking at those two phases.
I can only assume that the preparedness that people come to you runs from they've got all their financial ducks in a row to they have not done a darn thing to plan.
Absolutely. I've met with folks who are very organized, enjoy this stuff. They come to me with their adult children. Everyone's on the same page. They've been having family meetings forever, and they just have a real cohesive plan. On the other end of the spectrum, I've got adult children coming to me whose parents were private, didn't tell them anything, didn't plan anything, and now are unable to participate in the process. And these adult children are feeling really angry, frustrated, sad, and overwhelmed, and then everything in between. So it certainly runs the gamut.
That's a nice time to take over some of that stress and say, please help me, I don't know what to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's really important to start with just sort of taking an inventory. What have I got? I'm amazed at the number. I'm not amazed anymore. I expect that most people don't know everything they have. They haven't, you know, and regardless of their age.
Sure.
They don't have in one spot all of their investments, all of their life insurance, all of their bank accounts or CDs or little IRAs. They've got it all in a drawer. They've kept all the paper because they're really afraid to throw it away. But to really put it in one spreadsheet or spot and see, oh my gosh, this is what I've got. They haven't done that. And I think that's a really critical place to start.
And I would assume when they come in, they can just get started by just saying hello and getting started with questions.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean you're going to figure it all out in one meeting.
I think it's important that when someone works with an advisor, it be somebody that will be accommodating and that you feel comfortable with.
Okay, Susan, so we've talked about a lot of things. What would be some very important bullet points someone will want to consider about their financial health?
Okay. First, what do you have? Put together a list of every asset you have, no matter where it is. Get it on a piece of paper or on a spreadsheet. Second, it's critical that you put together and review your powers of attorney, both healthcare and financial. Who will take responsibility for your health or your finances if you are ever unable? Make sure you've gotten that done. Then take a look at, is there anything I need to be doing with my assets differently to provide for me for the next 20, 30 years of my life? Don't get focused on what the investment should be, but focus on what they are and then get a plan in place. Fourth, look at your will or trust. For some, it's been a long time since that's been updated. Take a look at it, talk to a professional. Don't use anything online or a canned program. Every state's different and that can be very dangerous. Sure. Talk to an advisor or an attorney about that estate plan. And then fifth, make sure after that estate plan's put together that your assets are titled in such a way that your estate plan will work. Your trust won't work if all of your assets are owned by you individually, for example. So the titling is just as important as what the estate plan says.
Wow.
Share and ask
Excellent
questions.
tips.
Oh, you've given us so much to think about. And probably life-changing for a lot of us.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Susan.
You're
You're
very
just
welcome. Thank
wonderful.
you.
And stay with us. We'll be right back.
What would be
good.
some tips that you would leave us with about
I
everything
would,
we learned?
I would just say start early, start now, think about what fits your budget, what fits your lifestyle, and have fun.